folks.
Hi. So Tyler Woosley, commercial insurance advisor. We'll kind of jump in a little bit about just some background on me. So to me at the core, the only things that I really value is see myself. I'm a husband, I'm a father, a follower of Christ. Those three things are pretty much all things that define me. So this is my family, my entire wide being. I've got two sons, Barrett and Shep. Try to update pictures this year. So Barrett is 6. He's our engineer type kid. Loves building Legos. Loves building anything. Super creative. Loves to have an argument. He's just like his mother. Shep, our younger one, is super sweet. Has always been super sweet. That is really coming into his own. The kid is I'm nervous about this kid. He's super popular at school. Everybody loves our son, and it's good now. But like I said, it makes me very excited. Wow, he's a fun time. Sarah, my wife, amazing wife. She's a dentist here in town. We started dating in high school sweethearts. I get you the egg just saying it, but we've been together now for 16 years. Both of us were born and raised in Mansfield, so we've been here our whole lives. Really invested in this community, love being here, and we chose to move back here and raise our kids. So definitely out getting my coverage there. Been holding on ever since. So family time's a huge thing for us. We love spending time together. Super active. Obviously, these boys keep us on our toes. So whether it's going to the rodeo, both boys would love to go to the lease and go hunting and fishing, and baseball games, riding bikes, getting dirty, video game, whatever it is. We just enjoy doing it together as a family. So love to travel. Don't do it as much as we would like to. And again, see you today. So love going to the beach. We're big beach people. We go to Destin every year in July with Sarah's family. Took the boys to Disney thanks to the help of Melissa last year. Mexico. Whenever we can get away, we try to. And I'll say, Sarah and I have a great relationship, and some people I think it's selfish, but we try to take time away from the kids. It's do for us. Do for our marriage. So we love the boys hard when we're here, and we love to get away from these dumbbell. Concerts, big concert people, love country music. We're a big music family. Barrett and I put Barrett to sleep every night as my dude, but we listen to music every single night before we go to bed. He picks the songs. It's awesome. He's got a very eclectic Spotify, so maybe I should put it out there. You can go follow him. But we love going to concerts. We started taking the boys as well, so this is our first concert back in January. We took them to Parker McCollum in Oklahoma City. They loved it. We didn't stay the whole time, but we'll get there. So that's big for us. Kenny Chesney at the Sphere. I found some people earlier. If you're a Kenny Chesney fan, go see him at the Sphere before he's gone. Amazing. Probably the most incredible concert we've ever been to, and I've been to a lot. So let's talk about insurance and a little bit about Rollo Insurance. So I own the branch of Rollo Insurance here in Mansfield. My office is in downtown. The main agency is located in College Station. Started in 2000, so we're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year, so it's exciting. We're a small family-run agency that has gotten big, is kind of what I like to say. I think we're up to 68 locations now. So we've got a lot of the capacity that a lot of big agencies have, but with kind of each one of us owning our own, we're still kind of have that small agency feel, which is kind of the heart of what makes us who we are. This is my team here. Mine is my brother and Jet, another agent. But this is Emily, my commercial account manager. And this is Mackenzie Cooper, my personal lines account manager. And I think any business owner in here can tell you're only as good as your team is. And these guys are fantastic. I'm proud to say we got Office of the Year last year. This year we got the client service award for the office. Again, none of that's on me. That's 100% on him. They're amazing. So for anybody that's dealt with them, they give it all work. So I appreciate all the things that they do. So jumping in a little bit. So why do you need commercial insurance? A lot of times I get introductions from people that the only reason we're talking about commercial insurance is for a compliance issue, right? Somebody told them they had to have it, and that's kind of their mindset to it. Sure, there is a compliance factor to it, But really, it's about safeguarding everything that you built, right? You're protecting your business, you're protecting your assets, just the same way that Saludo was talking about last week of wanting to protect everything you are. This is kind of the front line, hopefully, when you do get sued, you're not paying out of pocket, right? So we're trying to navigate those risks. So that's my job, to sit down with you and talk to you about what are your risks. Is it property damage? Is it liability lawsuits? Cyber threats like Ross talks about? Employee injuries? Chances are it's all the above, right? And maybe you haven't even thought about some of the things that could actually happen to your business. So at the end of the day, we're talking about it because I want you to have peace of mind, right? I joke, no business owner is going to go to sleep at night most of the time, right? Myself included, not thinking about something. But what I wanted you to do is to go to bed, not thinking about, oh crap, am I going to lose my business tomorrow if XYZ happens? And taking some of that off of your plate. So I wanted to jump in a little bit about some of the misconceptions and blind spots that I run into, some of the common phrases that I run into on a weekly basis, and kind of talk through some of those. And these are probably some of the most generic things that I hear literally every single week. One of the first ones is, I already have general liability. That's one of the most common things I see, and I'm like, okay, send me your policy, and then they don't send me their policy, they send me this, which is a certificate of insurance. Okay, certificates of insurance usually are just showing you have insurance, it gets you on a job. It literally, guys, means nothing. It's a piece of paper. That's literally all it is. They can get pretty inundated, but when people say to me, I have general liability, I'm saying, congratulations. You have literally the most basic thing you could have as a business. I equate that to you have state minimum liability to drive your car on the road. All right. The sad thing is, the state of Texas doesn't require you to have general liability insurance for most contractors, most trades. You'd be very surprised at what businesses actually are even required to have the basic bare minimum. But again, this doesn't show me anything. It shows me, I know it's too small, but most generic general liability is going to be $1 million, $2 million limit. It shows me that you have it, but it doesn't show me how you're rated. It doesn't show me what you're actually being rated for. And I've had more time and could go and do some more nerdy examples. I can show you two side-by-side certificates that would look exactly the same, before with, when they sent it to me and an after, and they would look identical. But the reality is when you got an actual policy, this landscaper was rated as a flower shop, or they had some wrong class code, or their payroll was a tenth of what their payroll actually was. And yeah, you'd have the same exact certificate, and nobody knows until you go to file the claim. The carrier does some investigation to, hey, you're not a flower shop, or hey, this is way bigger of an operation than we actually planned on, and you're going to run into some issues. So that's a huge thing, right? Just because you have general liability doesn't mean you're actually covered. There's a difference. I say, there's a difference between being insured and being protected. You can be insured. Everybody likes to stand up, especially from trade, to be like, oh, I'm insured and bonded. Great. What does that mean? All right, you have insurance, but you're not protected. Texas doesn't require work comp. I hear that one a ton. You're right. Texas is the last state in the United States that doesn't require work comp. And kind of like Saludo was talking about last week about, hey, the state of Texas has a plan for you. That's kind of along the same lines if you don't have work comp, right? You don't have work comp, right? You're not required to. You're just choosing to self-insure. So when your employee is injured, it doesn't mean you're not liable or you're not required to take care of them. You're just choosing to self-insure for all those injuries. And on top of that, there's not necessarily a limit in place of what they can go after, right? Work comp puts limits on what that employee is actually entitled to when they do get hurt. So it really is in your benefit to make sure that they're covered correctly. Another one that makes my skin crawl is that I don't have employees at 1099 all my people. Kiana's not here. I'm going to refer you to Kiana and tell her, hey, I'm not the tax guy. I'm not going to tell you you're doing your taxes wrong. She will. But when it comes to insurance, all right, you don't have all stuff. They work for you. They show up, they drive your trucks, they use your tools, they work for you. And guess what? You need to insure them because they work for you. They don't have their own insurance. That's another huge thing that I run into all the time. So if you know people that are like that, they're like, oh, I don't have employees, that's 1099, and you see them with a fleet of people running around, we need to call it. Every single week. Another one too. So I've had the same insurance for years and it hasn't changed. Great, but has your business changed, right? Are you still the same size business that you were years ago? No? Then your insurance should probably have changed, right? Same thing I told you. So every general liability policy gets rated off of, and work comp will get rated off of either sales or payroll. So if your sales or payroll has changed year to year, then your insurance policy needs to change with it. You need to update it. Yes, you're going to pay more premium, but you're not going to be left holding the bag when they come in and deny your claim and then charge you back audits for the last 5 years when they look at your books. That's a really bad situation. I've seen it all the time. So what sets us apart, right? There's a lot of insurance agencies out there. Unlike a lot of agents out there, we don't just quote and hope, right? I'm not just going to find the cheapest quote for you and hope that you're covered correctly. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about what are your actual exposures for the business, what are you doing, making sure that all aspects of your business are actually covered. With certificates, that's usually a big thing for contractors. That allows them to get on jobs, it allows them to get paid. We have really quick turnaround times with that. We have a portal that they can actually go on and create their own certificates, which is really nice for businesses that like to do that. Another thing is we don't move clients every single year, all right? And so there's a big misconception, about shopping for insurance. On the commercial side, most of the time, especially if your account has any size to it at all, it's going to go to an actual person to look at your account and say, hey, do I want this account or do I not? And you can imagine if you're sitting in their shoes, would you want to take on somebody that leads every single year? All right? Do you want to be the person that is holding the bag when they file that big claim? Chances are no, and that's what we see a lot too. So again, we have those conversations with our clients of setting out a game plan of what does it look like to build a relationship with a carrier. How can we use that to our advantage? How can we use that to remarket yourself and make yourself the most marketable we can on a year in, year out basis? You're actually going to know who your agent is and your servicing team. I see this a lot from especially mid-sized clients. So there's a huge commercial agencies out there. Marsh McLennan has a huge office in Dallas. Taken Botham's huge in Fort Worth. These are great agencies that really specialize in big commercial accounts. But when you're that middle-sized account, that $150,000 to $50,000 account, you really get lost in agencies like that. I hate to say they don't care about you, but you're just not on their radar, right? They're not looking to wine and dine you. You got to get forgotten about. Those are our bread and butter. Where we can come in and actually come alongside you and treat you like you should actually be treated and deserve to get the attention you get. We're great for that. So what industries do we specialize in? Honest to God, guys, we can write pretty much everything. There's a few niches that we just straight up tell you, like, if you refer them to me, we're probably not the best fit. And I usually have other agencies that I know that are better fits for certain industries. But this is the kind of stuff that we write week in, week out. So any type of contractors that you know of, you hear me talk about that a lot. Anything with vehicle sales and services, whether it's mechanics, quick lube, body shop, mobile mechanics has gotten big. I get calls all over the state. We've kind of gotten to be a pretty niche office for mobile mechanics. So if you know anybody like that works on heavy equipment and things like that, like I said, we get referrals from all over the state, those guys. Commercial property, med-mal, manufacturing, Main Street. All of these things are things that we have on the books. We have carriers that are hungry for those. That's really good stuff. Big trucking accounts, that's really probably something that we're not great at. If you talk to me, I don't really love working with nonprofits either. So those are things that really aren't necessarily great fits for us. Questions? Yes, sir.
What is wildest claim when somebody called you like, all right, this guy's
the podcast?
Oh, I did talk about that on the podcast. Yeah. Real quick, client didn't have any of their stuff covered correctly. Was moving a vehicle on a dealership. Story was they reached down to change the floor mat. They got hung up or something like that. Looked up, realized they were veering towards like cars instead of hitting the brake, hit the gas. It was on a Dodge dealership, so it was a brand new TRX. They rammed that into a brand new Jeep Wagoneer. They rammed that into a Dodge Hellcat that they ricocheted off of and then ran into the building.
You kill you.
They didn't have coverage for any of that. And then, three weeks after that, same thing. All their 168 1099 employees that didn't have work comp on, one 1099 employee ran over the other one, and so they had two huge lawsuits in a span of a week. I walked away. We don't write that account, so.